January 3rd, 2020.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 135. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
You liked that, didn't you?
20.
You got a little bit of Barbara Walters there. This is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you enjoyed yourself. I was not sure until we started talking today. I was like not completely confident that you weren't going to forget to say 2020.
No. I was saying Happy New Year enough today at work, so.
Oh, is that right?
It's like, all my coworkers, it's like Happy New Year and all that good shit is what I said to them.
Did you get any, see you next year?
I did get that on New Year's Eve from one of the bread vendors. And I actually told him, I'm like, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. You're already the bread guy, and that's sad enough. Oh, Todd, it is a new year, a new decade, in fact. And that's something that I think we're actually going to cover when we go to PAX. Because, by the way, we were just talking about this. PAX is so close. It's like fucked up how close PAX is. We will be in full-on PAX mode in 2 weeks. Ugh. I'm like not prepared.
I'm not.
So we will have an evergreen episode locked and loaded. What we think we're going to do is I think we're going to do what a lot of people have been doing, and that's talking about the best games of the decade. So I think that's probably what we're going to do. That's my current best idea.
I mean, it's a fitting idea. I don't know what else we'd do.
So I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, we could always do another like retrospective, technically, but no.
We could. I don't know. We'll see where we land. That will not be this week's episode, though, of course, Todd. It will also not be next week's episode. But the week after will be something. But this week, Todd, is going to be a decidedly normal episode of Nerd Bourbon. Although we are in a new year, a whole new place with a brand new attitude. Pokemon Johto.
New year, new me.
Yeah?
No, you know what?
Got any of those?
I don't do that shit.
Those resolutions?
Maybe I should stop drinking.
What, altogether?
No, I'm just fucking.
You already know that shit's not gonna happen.
It's not.
Do you ever think to yourself that you should cut back? Are there any? I know you don't really typically do resolutions, but do you ever look at the start of a new year and set any sort of goal or something?
Yeah, I when I was a young fool,
with hopes and dreams.
I don't have those anymore.
So, like for me, like our big goal this year is we want to have a house in 2020.
Yeah.
We want to move out of this apartment and get into a house.
You guys are looking like around the area though, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah,
we're not going to go out of state just yet, but the whole thing about it is, and I don't get too into the weeds on this because this is a video game podcast sometimes.
Just more space. Just a little more.
More space, and then moreover, there is an adult thing called equity, which you are not building if you're just giving a landlord in an apartment complex your money every month versus actually using your money for something that is going to get you money in the long run. So
this is another thing, just off topic, but part of it is just: are you guys looking more to actually own, or are you guys looking to? Sorry, okay. Because there's the whole rent to own bullshit too, though.
Yeah, that's a little fishy. I don't know if we're gonna go for that.
I feel you on that.
I would rather just pay for it outright and just pay for an actual home loan. Yeah. And just not have to do some weird, like, fishy third-party financing option through, like, a landlord. No, I'm not going to do all that. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's all very adult, but that is our goal for 2020. We want to be in a house. I don't know. I feel like when I come into a new year, especially this year, because I felt like the start of a new decade, I felt like it was a little bit of a clean slate.
I mean, the only real goal that I'd have is make more money.
Yeah, I want to make more money also this year.
Because I need to just really just buckle down at my job and just fucking get them raises essentially.
Start getting them ducats.
But at that point, with making more money would come me getting my own place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
that would be cool. I don't know. I have a lot. I have a lot that I'd like to do. I'd like to manage my work-life balance a little bit better.
Yeah, you suck at that.
I do suck at that. I keep myself so busy. I would just like to make more time for myself. I'd like to be a better friend to some folks. I mean, I don't really want to improve my relationship with you at all. This is as good as it's going to get for you.
I mean, I mean, we're essentially best friends.
Well, we already talk every day. You get 100% of me. You get every inch of me.
All three.
No, but no, I want to be more present in some of my friends' lives and stuff like that. And
that just comes with getting older.
It does.
It's just like, I mean, like, there's a few people that I still like actively, like, try to keep in touch with, and even then, it's just like the random like phone call. Essentially, it's mainly Ronald, like, that I still like actively try to like me and him. Like, I've known that motherfucker for like years.
Time is a fickle bitch, Todd. Time is a fickle bitch, and she comes for us all. Anyway. Real talk aside, Todd, I do want to talk about video games on our video game podcast, if that's all right. There's been much going on, strangely, with me in the world of video games, but as tradition dictates, what have you been playing, sir?
I've been in such a weird state. I have reached a existential crisis state in my gaming.
Yet again. We just bouncing between crises.
It's a weird thing for me. Like, it's just like, yeah, I can obviously, I'm still playing Monster Hunter. It's not saying don't cue the music.
God, I just want to like softly weep to hear you say don't cue the music. It's like the chorus of 1,000 angels.
There's just really nothing that I can say about that other than like just like little bullshit that I've been doing. I mean, I'm still playing that. I'm just kind of like farming some shit out. Like, I'm doing the grinding lands. That's about it, Just kind of like killing the time, like just being bored. But I did drop some money on the holiday sale on PSN. And I did end up buying Just Cause 4.
Right.
I haven't beat that game. I put a little bit of time. I accidentally started one of the DLCs, I think.
Oh, on accident, you just kind of stumbled into it.
I was like, shit. Now I have all this crap on my map. I was like, no. But that's whatever. That's another thing. I will say this. I feel like I like this game more than 3.
Okay.
Just solely off some of the gameplay. They really, because I think one of the things I wasn't a fan of in 3 is I swear to God, there was a skill tree. And maybe it's a fever dream, but I remember there essentially being more of a skill tree to it.
I really couldn't tell you.
And just take my word for it, I'm pretty sure it was like it was more skill tree based. So with this one, gameplay wise, obviously it really goes hard on the grapple. That's one of the things they really focused on with like 3 and 4 is the grappling, being able to like do the tethers and like different things you can do with the tethers.
Right.
So this one, as you do like some of the side stuff in the game, you'll like there's like multiple XP bars for like each, because you get a grappling hook tool from like 3 different people. Like you get like the airlift. No, the airlift is always there, I think. So it's the booster, the retractor, and some other shit.
Is the airlift the thing that you were telling me essentially ripped straight out of Metal Gear Solid 5?
I swear to God. And dude, I've done dumb shit with that. I've been like I sometimes I just sit there and I do, because you can do loadouts for like you can have one loadout for the airlift, have the booster at high, the retractor at high, like when you do the tether. So at that point, when you have the retractor high, you sit there and you pull it down with a shit ton of force, essentially. And I'm just sitting there. I pulled 2 helicopters together and watched them explode. It was great.
Gotta love it.
Like,
you know why you did that?
Because I can.
Just cuz.
Haha. But that's the thing. You know, the story's still dog shit. It always will be. I don't play those games for like story. I play those games.
I was telling you, I was like, if I were the creative director of like Just Cause 5, I would say fuck the story.
I mean, do I respect that we're still playing the same son of a bitch from Just Cause 1? Because here's the thing.
Rico
Rodriguez, yeah.
Jesus.
I've been a fan. I've been playing these games since the first one. This is like the first time I didn't buy it like day one. Because I just kind of was like, about it. But for the price I paid, and I got basically the complete edition, it's like $25. It's like they're like almost the $100 version. So I'm like, hey, shit, why not? I mean, I'll probably talk about it more like next week. Cause I'll probably have it beat by then. But it is essentially more of the same shit. It's like they really couldn't take away the fact that, because like one of the DLCs in 3 was like this futuristic experimental shit that gave you like basically a jetpack essentially. They kind of brought that back, but it's not as good. But it's still a thing. Like they can't like completely take it out. So you can basically fly around with the wingsuit instead of just like glide.
That's nice.
Yeah, I've said this is like it's gameplay wise, it always gets better with these games. I wish the story did, but Lord knows I don't give a fuck about that story. It's just Nah, dude, I honestly can get away with just flying around that game and just doing all the side shit, but I kind of just want to get the story out of the way and call it. But other than that, it's been pretty fun. I don't even know what the hell else I've been fucking with. I want to play. I do know what I want to play. I want to play some Call of Duty with your ass, but
yeah, this is honestly the first time we've talked in a little while.
Yeah.
So we just haven't. The moons have not aligned.
It's all we've had is our daily snaps.
That's right.
Oh, by the way, wait, I need to tell you something. The message that you sent me today on Facebook that's that Squidward one.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I'm sitting there like full on conversation with this dude from the produce department. I just looked down. I lost my shit.
It was a pretty raunchy picture. It was like this picture of Squidward smiling, like with a sinister smile, and it says, "When your girl's parents think you're a nice young man, but your tongue lives in their daughter's booty hole." It's pretty rough.
This shit messed me up, dude.
Oh. Yeah, so speaking of Call of Duty, that actually, much like you, Todd, I also have been taking advantage of many a holiday sale, both on PSN and the Nintendo Switch eShop. Now, I gotta shout out our mutual friend Dan here, because after we recorded last week's episode, I think I even mentioned on that episode, maybe I'll get like a gift card for Christmas from somebody and take advantage of that cheap Call of Duty. And literally that same day, Dan just randomly popped into my Venmo and gave me some Christmas money as a Christmas present. And I was like, nice, shout out to you, Dan. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. So he had no idea. It was just completely random. I think what it was is I think he was also buying everybody else like Christmas presents like last minute. Yeah. So he was just kind of like, here. So that was kind of cool. It kind of worked out serendipitously that way. So I picked up Modern Warfare, which we'll talk about in a minute. And I do want to play that with you also. I picked up Death Stranding, which I have not had an opportunity to touch yet. I picked up Watam, which I also have not had an opportunity to touch. And then independently, I picked up this indie game that I've been eyeballing on the eShop for a little while called Slay the Spire. And I've been playing quite a bit of that, so I'll talk about that a little bit later also. But first, I did want to shout out the fact that I did manage to finish and 100% my game of the year, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Everyone, slow clap.
I did manage to do that before 2019 ended, so
I'm proud of you.
So yeah, I feel good about that. I will say I love that game so much, and I still stand by everything I said. No game impressed me more in 2019 than that game.
By the way, did you stay up till midnight?
Hell no.
Dude, my old dude, here's the deal.
I was in bed by like 10.
Dude, I went to sleep earlier than that. I was in bed. I was in bed around like 8, and I woke back up at like 10, and I went back to sleep. But I was like, I did my drinking when I got home. And then
I did no such thing. I just those days are long behind me.
I don't give a. Here's the thing. I just don't give a shit.
No, neither do I. But so I did. I 100%ed it. Great game. The rewards for 100%ing are a little lame, to be honest.
What's the deal?
Well, so like every floor has got like 6 hidden gems. Some of them are really hard to find. Your reward for getting them all is your suction cup that's on your poltergeist, the fucking goo pack, whatever they're calling it now.
Whatever the fuck, yeah.
It's got a different name in this one. Anyway, the suction cup is like diamond encrusted. After you get all the gems,
what, they bedazzle it?
They bedazzle it basically, and then the flashlight. After you suck up all of the booze, there's a boo hidden on each floor. Once you kind of collect all of those, you get your flashlight has a booze face on it.
It's kind of lame.
It's kind of lame, especially considering that they announced multiplayer DLC for the game coming next year in 2 pretty meaty multiplayer DLC packs, and it's annoying because those DLC packs are going to include skins for Luigi. And I'm like, why can't I have that in the single player? Why didn't you give me some unlockable skins? Maybe that would have been a good way to spend some of this money. I have like so much money.
I think you even said something. I think you said this off recording. It's like this game's like perfect for like actual like story DLC because of the way the game's structured with the floors.
Yeah, the floors of the hotel room. It would be so simple to add on additional floors. It's just the game structure is really modular. It'd be very easy to do that. So, I don't know, it's a little bit frustrating, but overall, the core game at root was by far the most impressive gaming experience I had in 2019, and I really, really liked it. Happy that I finished it before the year ended properly. But I've also been playing a little bit of Modern Warfare. I've spent, I would say, probably equal amounts of time with the multiplayer and single player. Mm-hmm. I've not finished the single player. I'm not even close. I've only done a few missions, but so far, really liking it. It's really good. It's really pretty. I noticed that. And I like how the trophies kind of like have you doing weird shit. That's something that I haven't really seen. Yeah, it was funny. I was telling you this. It's been a while since I've sat down and played like a single player shooter. It's been a minute. Like, I don't really remember the last one I played. That was an actual...
I know the last thing that I played was probably Doom 3.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you consider Borderlands...
We don't talk about that game.
But I mean, like, it's been a minute since I've sat down and actually played, like, a shooter. So it feels kind of nice. It's kind of cool to get back into a shooter. And, I mean, Call of Duty always controls like butter. And feels great. Runs great. No issues there. So far, I like the characters, and I like the sort of gritty, more serious take on everything. And we'll see where it goes. The multiplayer is a lot of fun. I've found myself really getting into it. It's just it checks all those boxes, everything that I wanted.
What do you think of the no minimap?
To be honest, I didn't really notice it.
I mean, the minimap is there, but it doesn't do what it used to.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I don't know. I just completely... I don't know if it's because of like playing hardcore.
You were a big hardcore guy, right?
I liked playing hardcore a lot back when I was like into Call of Duty 4 and stuff like that. I don't know if I've sort of like conditioned my brain to not even really pay attention.
That's the thing. Like the way I play that game, it's like there's other ways because you still get the red dot shit on the compass,
right?
On the top of a. I don't know. It bothers other people more. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't super bother me. I haven't really run it. I know they've tweaked this a little bit since launch, but I haven't really had an issue with the footstep thing that everybody was complaining about.
It's been tweaked like fucking like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that this game, more so than any shooter I've played in recent years, it does have a problem with camping.
Oh, dude, it's the camp fest, bro.
It's bad, bro. Like,
again, I told you about the worst camping I ever seen was this motherfucker in a cave just chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder.
He was sitting behind his claymore, everything. Man was fucking sitting around the campfire.
Yeah, posted up. Yeah. No, I don't know why it is either. I don't know if like
it's the footsteps.
If it's the footsteps, or if it's like the fact that you have like items like the munitions box that sort of can incentivize staying put.
Well, here's the thing: if dead silence was a perk, I'm telling you that camping would be non-existent.
Yeah,
it's just the fact nobody wants to run dead silence as their tactical or whatever the fuck. It's
right,
called.
Right.
Which I do. I actually like it because it gives you a speed boost too.
Right. Yeah, so I've been kind of futzing around with stuff, trying to find my groove and find like my weapon that I really like and stuff like that, and it's been fun. I haven't gotten into a Call of Duty multiplayer in a while, so I'm really enjoying it. But I want to play with you. I want to play some gunfight because I had a lot of fun with that in the beta. I could see us doing some Call of Duty videos in the near future. Be fun. I definitely check out some of the Spec Ops.
Oh, I definitely want to do that. I haven't even touched it really.
See how that all goes. Looking forward to it. I don't know. I'm just impressed with it. I like it. It's really good. I like the way they're handling the Battle Pass stuff. It's like super reasonable to the point where I bought it. And like that's not even the kind of thing that I normally go for. But like for me, $10 is like super reasonable for the Battle Pass. For the amount of stuff that you unlock. I don't know. Just impressed.
Take notes. No.
Yeah, I'm just impressed. Like, it's checking all of the boxes for me so far. So, really fun. Really like having that as sort of like a background game. It's not like my main game. It's not my meat and potatoes, but I like having it there. But yeah, like I said, I picked up on the eShop sale. I picked up this game called Slay the Spire. It's an indie game, and I'd heard about it for a while. And I've always wanted to check it out, but I think it was on sale for like $12.99. It was like half off. Okay. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to grab this. So Slay the Spire, stick with me here, because the descriptor for this is really weird. It is a roguelike, deck-building, turn-based action RPG.
What?
So, essentially, it's roguelike, so it's randomly generated. And you pick a character at the beginning of your run, and each of them have different perks and abilities and stuff like that. So it's an RPG in that way. And it's deck building, like a deck building card game almost. Like a Hearthstone or a Magic the Gathering or something like that. But the deck that you're building, you're doing throughout the course of your run. So you're earning new cards as you're climbing up this spire, essentially. And there are random events that happen and shops and stuff that you can improve your deck with. And it's really, really good. Like, I have gotten so sucked into this game. It is, like, so addicting. In the way that, like, there's just something with these card games when they're designed really well. When a card game is designed really well, it hits me in a way that no other genre really does. Like, remember when we first got into Hearthstone?
I don't talk about that day.
Dude, that first day.
I don't talk about, dude, it was 8 hours?
When you get that first hit and you just do nothing but play that card game for 8 hours.
Dude, we just sat there on Skype and just fucking played against each other for 8 fucking hours. Oh.
And that's how it is with Slay the Spire. Like, every time that I have my Switch with me, I'm just playing it. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, it has not gotten old. The roguelike elements have not started to repeat their same tricks. The game is like difficult, but it's the right kind of difficult where like you just have to learn it. And the thing that this game does really well, better than any other card-based game that I've ever played, is the idea of synergy. Building your deck around these synergistic moments. You know what I mean? Like, you know when like something happens in Hearthstone, you have that perfect hand where you're like, oh, I got a fucking combo right here.
Mm-hmm.
Those moments happen all the time in Slay the Spire. And like the game is so elegantly designed that like it sets you up to recognize those moments really, really easily. I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it. I really like it. And then also it just has like a really cool kind of chill soundtrack. It doesn't do any bullshit. It does not disrespect your time. You have as much time as you want on your turn. You can pause. You can save and quit the game. It's not like a typical roguelike where you have to like play until you die. You can save and quit and jump back in if you want to. Like, you have as much time as you want to decide what you want to do. I really like that. I like that the game's not rushing you. It's not like Hearthstone where there's like a ticking clock. You know, it's really, really good.
How much is this game?
I don't know. I don't think it's still on sale, but it's. I think normally it's like $24.99.
It's not terrible. I'm like looking at like screenshots.
Yeah, I really like it. I don't know if there's any like competitive multiplayer element to it or not, but I know I've just been having so much fun with the single player aspect. It's one of those like games where it's just like a mishmash of genres that shouldn't work.
And it does.
But it just totally does. Mm-hmm. And it's so perfect for Switch. I can't wait to play this like at PAX, like in line at PAX. Like, it's so perfect for that pick up and play element, you know? It's perfect for that. Ugh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm already like, I'm part of me is like, shit, if I would have played this last year, this might have ended up somewhere, you know? But, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll sneak into my 2020 list at the end of this year. Too early to tell. But that's pretty much it. I have, like I said, I have Death Stranding. I have not touched it yet. I bought Watam. That's the new game from Keita Takahashi, the creator of Katamari Damacy. He released his new game on PS4. And so I bought that. I have not played it yet. So yeah, I have those waiting. That's on my backlog, but that's pretty much it. It's been mostly Modern Warfare and Slay the Spire and pesky real life happening for me this week. But Todd, I've got a little bit of news if you would like to jump into it with me.
Shower me.
Ooh, give you a golden shower of news.
Yes.
So I'm debating on where I should start here. I've got a couple of meaty ones and a couple of quick ones. So let's
want the meat. No.
Ooh, I'll give you a reverse sandwich. How's that? It'll be
Delicious.
Meat, some bread, and then some meat.
Delicious.
God, that'd be awful. Could you imagine that?
I hate it already.
So let's start with this. So, the Uncharted movie, Todd. I'm sure you probably saw this headline floating around.
Oh, God, I didn't actually.
Much like in the game, a situation that might happen in the games. You know, when you're playing Uncharted, and Nathan Drake just can't catch a break. He's grabbing on that ledge, and God damn it, the ledge broke or whatever. You know, It seems like that's how the movie's going. The movie can't catch a break, Todd.
Holy shit! They lost another director.
They just lost their 6th director.
Fuck.
So this comes from a Deadline report. They reported that Bumblebee director Travis Knight was the most recent director to be attached to the project. But scheduling issues between him and young Nathan Drake star Tom Holland made him unavailable for the film. So the studio is still adamant. Sony still adamant on keeping Tom Holland as young Drake and Mark Wahlberg as Sully. They will not budge on that. Like, that is who they have.
I forgot about Mark Wahlberg as Sully.
Yes, those are the guys. Sony will not budge on that. So it's one of those things where if you cannot work with their schedule, then you're fucking out. Basically.
Yeah.
So this caused some friction because Travis Knight and Tom Holland's schedule were kind of like bumping heads because Tom Holland is going to be filming the next Spider-Man movie next summer. So, yeah. As a result, Travis Knight bowed out, and the movie is now without a director again. And it just, I'm just sitting here like, just shit can this movie.
Dude, how disappointing is this movie going to be?
Just shit can this movie at this point. Because, like, I've always had the stance that I don't think that video game movies necessarily need to happen at all.
I agree.
But, like, this movie has now been in development hell for, like, 10 years. Like, literally. Across 6 different directors. It's like, wow. I don't know. I feel like this movie's doomed from the start. I feel like there's no hope for this movie. The closest I got to having some hope with this movie was when Dan Trachtenberg was attached.
Yeah.
And when he left, citing creative differences, I was like, oh no. Oh no, they want to do something weird with this movie. And Naughty Dog doesn't really seem to have much to do with the movie either. So yeah. I have very little hope in this.
It's one of those things where like it's on the back of my mind. Like I don't even really remember it until somebody brings it up, like you just did with this. So I was like, oh
yeah. So
yeah, that is a thing.
That is a thing. Honestly, the most exciting part about this story for me was like, oh, cool, Tom Holland, new Spider-Man movie filming next summer. Which means that we'll probably see that. I'm assuming we'll see like Spider-Man 3 in like 2022 or something like that. So that's exciting, I guess. Uncharted movie, who knows when we'll see that. Tom Holland will probably be old enough to play Sully by the time we see that.
Oh,
So I don't know what. I mean, you're saying you're sort of in agreement with me. I mean, why do we need to make video game movies?
Well,
why is this a thing?
It shouldn't be a thing. I think video games should be a separate art form. Like let movies be movies and video games be video games.
Why? Yeah. Why are we so obsessed with trying to make this work? I remember I had a conversation with Dan one time where he's like, I think video game movies are going to be the next comic book movie.
Ugh.
And I just don't think... I think that books and comics translate better to the art form of movies because they are not interactive.
Yeah.
They're not... Everybody has their own idea of what Uncharted is. Even though those games are quite linear, everybody's got their own ideas of it. Everybody's got their own bed of experiences with these games. And it's kind of impossible to capture that.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather play a rich, 15-hour Uncharted game than watch a truncated version of that starring Tom Holland for 2 hours in the movie theater. Like, if I want Uncharted, I'm just going to go play the game.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that video game movies are really interesting to me is when they take the property and they do something interesting with it. And the weird example of this for me is Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, Detective Pikachu is not necessarily... I know there's a Detective Pikachu game, but it isn't necessarily trying to tell, like, a video game story. It's not necessarily trying to, like, emulate the video game. It's kind of being its own thing within the video game's parameters. And I think that works, but even then, I'm just like, I don't think this is something that we necessarily need to concern ourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncharted, by the way, seems like it should work the easiest in translating it into a movie because it takes such direct inspiration from movies. From like Romancing the Stone and Indiana Jones and stuff like that. It seems like it should be a snap to get this movie to work. And yet, here we are 10 years later, unable to make this thing happen. So, I don't know.
It's a sign.
I have no faith in this coming to fruition. We'll see. If it does come to fruition, Todd, it will most likely come to horrible fruition. We'll see. So, speaking of video game movies, segue. In what seems to be an attempt at capturing the Baby Yoda meme magic, the Japanese account for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie released a new trailer and promotional materials earlier this week that reveal Baby Sonic, which is a design that is going to appear in the movie when it comes out on Valentine's Day. Did you see this?
I did. Baby
Sonic floating around? What do you make of that?
It's not my son.
No. Don't you hate this? Everybody's trying to steal Yiddle's thunder.
It's like, you ignorant bitches.
We saw that thing that was just so true. It's like you'd you choose between Baby Groot and Baby Yoda. It's like I would use Baby Groot as fucking kindling to keep him warm. There's no contest.
Even in like other bullshit, where like, even like in like Star Wars universe, you had like what motherfuckers like talking about what's the fucking character's name? Bobble Frick or some shit.
Yeah, Babu Frick from Rise of Skywalker.
I'll kick that ugly little bastard.
Who cares? He's like weird and gross. He's like, I am Babu Frick. I'm just like, no, it's not. That's nowhere near as cute.
It's nowhere near as cute as my boy giggling and laughing on a speeder.
It's funny because like my wife Anastasia, she's gotten so attached to Yiddle. Like you would think it's her actual son. Mm-hmm. Like literally.
No, it is all our son.
She will watch. She saw this like compilation video of him recently, and she's sitting there crying. Just like crying because she's like I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, he's just so cute.
Pride is not the word.
Yeah. Like she's smitten. And we're all smitten. We can't help it.
They knocked it out of the park with Yiddle. Like, it's unreal.
The Mandalorian in general.
Oh, it's...
If you'd like to hear our full thoughts, you can listen to our episode-by-episode review series.
Okay. Get that plug.
Get that plug in there nice and smooth. But no, they showed this...
Butter, no?
Yeah. But no, they showed this new Sonic trailer. You see a little bit of footage of him running through Green Hill Zone. It all looks fine. It all looks good. You know, I just sort of... Here's the real question. Did they also have to redesign Baby Sonic? Is there a horrible eldritch image of the baby version of the old design? That's what I want to know.
Shit!
That's what I want to see. I want to see that cursed image.
I feel like I can visualize it.
Taking the baby version of the old design. Also, how does this Baby Sonic play into the movie? Is it a separate Sonic from the normal Sonic?
No, we're just going to see his life story.
It's so strange. I don't know. But I absolutely want to see that movie.
I really just want to see it because I'm just like, I really don't know why I want to see it.
I'll tell you exactly why I want to see it. Because there is no bad outcome. Either the movie is hilariously bad, and that's good, or the movie is great, and that's good. There's no bad outcome here. Every outcome is a good one. So I'm like, I'm there. I'm there to see this Sonic movie.
No middle ground, huh?
No, there's no middle ground. There's no way this is just going to be like, it was all right. It's either going to be horrible or it's going to be great. We'll see. What's hilarious is like all it took for people's opinions to do a complete 180 on this movie is the redesign. Mm-hmm. Like, guys, there's still all the weird shit where he's like an alien and it's like a buddy cop movie. The movie itself is not changing. You understand that, right? The design is not... I mean, it's important, sure, clearly. But that's not everything. I don't know. So that's happening, Todd. Sonic the Hedgehog, you can take a nice girl to see that for Valentine's Day, if you wanna really impress her. But we've got a little bit. This is exciting. So Untitled Goose Game, Todd. Certainly one of the most unique games of last year. Mm-hmm. This is backed up by some sales numbers, some impressive sales numbers. As publisher Panic Inc.'s co-founder, I'm gonna go with Cable Sasser. That's a hell of a name. He revealed via Twitter this week that the game has surpassed 1 million units sold. So very, very lucrative endeavor for them, for Panic and House, which is the name of the developer of the game, House. The game originally launched in September for PC and Switch, with PS4 and Xbox One versions coming later in December. Now, when this game came out on PS4, you did express a little bit of interest in it.
Yes.
I would love to do an Untitled Goose Game video series with you.
Oh.
It's the kind of thing we could do all in one video. We could really do it in one setting. Mm-hmm. Like we could sit down and just make like a 3-hour long Untitled Goose Game video and just play through the whole thing.
I'd be down for it.
And
That'd be entertaining.
I just think you would have so much fun with that game. I don't know.
I'm always down to make content.
That might be something. And that game's cheap too, and it doesn't demand too much of your time. So maybe
3 hours now.
Yeah. So maybe these guys will sell 1,000,001 copies pretty soon. Now, joking aside, good for them. That's a unique game. That was definitely one of my honorable mentions last year. If we had done a top 10, it probably would have ended up on there. Because had a really good time playing through that with my wife. It's a really fun like co-op game. even though it isn't traditional co-op, it's not like you're not playing as like two geese running around. It's a fun game to like watch somebody play and like spitball ideas off of and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I think it would work well for our dark purposes.
Oh no.
One last thing I've got here, Todd, but this is a bit of a big one. This is some PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X rumors floating around. We may have some alleged specs for these two consoles. So
got my teraflops?
Yeah, we're gonna talk teraflops, baby. You ready to talk some teraflops?
Let's go.
Teraflop it out for me, Todd. This so are you familiar with Digital Foundry?
Yes.
So this is a popular, they're actually an offshoot, I think, of Eurogamer, and they're essentially very like popular tech analysis site or YouTube channel or whatever. And so they have produced a lengthy report regarding these alleged leaked specs for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So let's start with the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 will reportedly feature a 9.2 teraflop GPU. Again, get ready to talk about teraflops.
Woo!
So in comparison, the PS4 theoretically reaches a maximum of 1.84 teraflops.
Amazing.
So that's a lot more teraflops. 1.84 from a PS4, 9.2 to a PS5.
Incredible.
So, the PS5's GPU will feature 36 custom Navi compute units at 2,000 megahertz, compared to the 911 megahertz that the PS4 Pro uses. So, twice as many megahertz, Todd. The megahertz, the teraflops, my head's spinning here.
My God.
So the report also says that the PS5's GPU has been designed to switch between 3 different modes for the purposes of backwards compatibility.
Holy shit!
This is something that we already sort of knew about the PS5, that it was going to be backwards compatible with PS4. But
it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be, right? But it's interesting that there are 3 modes, it sounds like, here. I wonder what's going on. So, I mean, there has to be, I guess, the standard mode for running PS5 games. And then one of the other 2 modes must have the PS4 backwards compatibility, because, in fact, it has, according to the report, one of the other 2 modes has got the exact same metrics as the PS4 Pro. So, essentially, it's like, okay, we've got one mode for PS5, one mode for PS4 Pro, and then what's the third mode? So that's going to be interesting. Well, what are you thinking?
They've always been saying they can't do it. PS3. No.
Are you calling that?
I don't know. Talking shit.
You think PS5 is going to be able to run PS3 games?
That would be fucking crazy for a lot of people.
That would be amazing. I would love that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the best thing you're going to get for PS3 is PlayStation Now. Streaming it. I don't think they're going to. They
don't want to put the work in to actually get it to work.
It is possible. Like, God damn it, it's possible. If Xbox can make it work, you guys can make it work. There's no excuse.
The only excuse they have is they made a dog shit
console. Yeah, we made a console that was really expensive and really hard to work with. And we're going to talk about expenses here in a minute. Because on the Xbox side of things, there is, from what Digital Foundry said, there is less comprehensive data, but they say that signs point to the Xbox Series X's GPU targeting 12 teraflops.
Oh, shit.
Which is 3 more teraflops than the PlayStation 5, based on these reports. Significantly more powerful. So, that could be interesting. That is not...
Power means nothing. No.
I mean, that's the question. Like, that's the interesting thing here, because here's the deal. The problem with them going for a strikingly more powerful unit is that the management of power and affordability.
Mm-hmm.
Because PS5 seems to be striking this balance that leans more towards affordability.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we're only going to go for 9 teraflops, but the console is going to cost a little bit less.
You know, you know what? Like the image that's coming to mind.
What?
You talking about this? You ever seen that fucking meme? It's like it's an old like, geez, Billy, you got 12 teraflops.
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen that.
It's talking about hot dogs. I think. I don't know. You've probably seen it. You know exactly what it is in the back of your mind. But it's like, geez, Billy, 2 wieners.
That's funny. Yeah, that's sort of how it is. Because I mean, like, the Xbox seems like they're leaning more towards power this go around, and the machine may be more expensive as a result. And I'm just like, I'm looking at some of the stuff that we're hearing. I mean, we're already like, okay, these things are apparently going to have a solid state drive because everything that we're hearing is that they're going to be focusing on a dramatic reduction of load times. So the point of like not even having load times, from what we understand. That's going to be like a big thing this generation. We heard, I think it was Phil Spencer recently was talking about how the Xbox Series X can suspend like multiple games at a time. Like you can actually be running like multiple games at once now and stuff like that. I don't know why you'd want to, but there you go.
For the record, I found it.
What is it? Oh, the meme.
It's a G Bill. That's the name of the meme.
The name of the meme is G Bill. Okay.
Yeah, it's not good. Some of these are pretty bad.
God.
One of them's because it's 2 kids. One of them's like just dead ass. G Bill, 2 wieners, and is like photoshopped looking like he's sucking his dick.
Oh God. Look, the audience can Google this at their own risk. Anyway, whatever the case may be, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, how expensive is this Xbox going to be? If they're going balls to the wall power and not giving a fuck about price,
that's the thing. They got to understand. Like, dude, you go over 500.
Yeah, I think $499 is the absolute max.
Like, you go over 500, be prepared to take a hit. Because I know, like, that's we've talked about this multiple times. Like, I feel like they are more than likely going to have to actually take a hit on what the console's actually worth. Because either, I mean, they'll make up for it with sales.
So you think Xbox is going to sell the console at a loss?
I feel like they have to. I feel like they fucking have to if they want to actually sell it. Like, dude, I'm not paying fucking over 500 for a console. I'm sorry.
I don't think anybody really would pay over 500 for it.
It's like at that point, why the fuck am I doing console gaming? It's like I'd rather just soup up a PC. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and it begs the question too: does Microsoft really have the cachet to do that? Can they afford, in other words, to sell the Xbox Series X at a loss? I don't know that they can. I mean, they're not broke, of course. They've got plenty of money in the coffers. That Microsoft is an enormous company.
They were dropping a hell of a lot of money buying these fucking studios.
A lot of money doing that. I mean, the Xbox One has sold appreciably, but there's actually no real way to tell exactly how many Xbox Ones have been sold. But like most reports kind of skew towards the like 40 to 50 million units sold.
And where's PS4 at?
It's sold over 100 million.
Yeah, come on.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, I just don't know. I just don't know if they can afford to do that.
Because if it comes out, it's I don't know where I would draw my line fully to where I'm just like I gotta wait till it's on sale. Because I'm not paying. I don't think I'd pay more than $550.
Nobody's buying a $600 console.
No, dude, I'm not doing it.
Nobody's going to. And it sounds like PlayStation 5 is more, again, and I want to stress that these reports are not confirmed in any way, shape, or form. I think Microsoft's strategy is probably going to be leaning towards, I assume they're either going to throw their own event, or maybe they're going to talk about it like a CES, or maybe they will go at E3 and announce the price and stuff like that. I think Sony is probably going to do something a little bit different, where if you remember, the way that they announced PlayStation 4, it was in like February of 2013, and they just held like a small event where they just quietly revealed the PS4 and just gave all the details there. and at E3 we could just focus on games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was really successful. I think that's a really smart, successful way to announce a console, and I would not be shocked to see them do the same thing with PS5. And I wouldn't be shocked if this time next month or this time 2 months from now or whatever, I wouldn't be one bit shocked if we know more concrete details about PS5. So I think that it is smart to come out ahead of E3 and announce all this stuff, and moreover to set expectations. Because I think that Microsoft has smartly set expectations pretty low for the Xbox Series X. Because think about it. If they wanted to, in that reveal at the Game Awards, they could have announced anything alongside it. What did they announce? They announced Hellblade. Which is like, okay, cool. That's a big deal to the fans.
That's a big deal for like the motherfuckers that played that game.
That's a big deal to the fans, but it's not like, we were hearing rumors about Fable and stuff like that. It's not like that. You know what I mean? So like, it's one of those things where I think they're playing it pretty safe.
That's actually funny to me because I never thought about it like that because I love that game so much. So that was like I was freaking the fuck. I'm like, oh shit, Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Other motherfuckers are like, what's this?
We love that game, but the audience at large doesn't. That is the kind of game that you can show at the Game Awards. But I think they're smart. I think they're smart to be playing it relatively close to the vest, and they're coming out ahead of their competition and announcing what the thing is, showing off the box, getting people to talk about it, but not necessarily talking about software yet. We know they have software. We know that they're going to come out swinging with software. They own
Lord
all
knows
these.
They got some software.
All these studios. I mean, you can rest easy about that. It's going to be interesting to see how Sony combats that when they announce PS5. And I think they would be smart to do something similar. Be quiet. Don't come out and say like I don't want them to do this thing where like I don't want them to announce PS5 at a small event and be like, and also Horizon 2's launch title and no. Be quiet, set expectations low. That way, when we get to E3 and you start talking about a launch lineup, and you've got
E3 matter again.
Yeah, make E3 matter, and just give us a couple of months to like get really hyped up. Give us that final launch lineup. That's where you're gonna want to reveal.
That's
big
one
games.
thing. I just want to be excited watching E3 again.
I think this is going to be an exciting year for video game news. I mean, new consoles are always exciting, right?
Oh, I did. Always. I'm always excited to drop that money.
Well, and then you also, I mean, you have to consider too what Nintendo's doing.
That's true.
So there is this is not in the news drop, but I'll just mention this really briefly. And this could be insignificant, but there was a recent update to Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And in its texture files, there was a controller layout for like changing your controller options. And there was one for Switch controller.
Oh, shit.
For a Switch Pro controller.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, this could mean a couple of things. This could either mean that it can be something as simple as somehow you're going to be able to connect your Switch to your PC and play the game using a Switch controller. Or it could mean that they're doing a Red Dead Redemption port for like a Switch Pro.
That's Lord knows that game ain't gonna run on the actual Switch.
So I mean, even on like a Switch Pro, I don't really expect a Switch Pro to come out and be like wildly improved. But you also have to consider when the Switch is running on primarily proprietary like mobile based hardware. Yeah. So if you think about the strides that mobile-based hardware improves in just a year, look at what they do with phones, right?
I know, yeah.
The way that the hardware improves every single year, by the time a Switch Pro comes out, it'll be at least 3 years after, 3 to 4 years probably, after the initial Switch release. So it actually, I think, is kind of possible that the hardware could be a substantial bump when you think about it that way. This is mobile gaming hardware that we're talking about. This stuff improves significantly year over year. So I don't know. Maybe Nintendo will buck the trend when the Switch Pro is finally a thing. And like I said, I think it's either going to be this fall or next spring. We'll see how they behave here. I think they'd be smart to wait until next spring catch them off guard a little bit. But whatever the case may be, I think it might be possible that Nintendo's going to buck the trend of that kind of like soft update that they normally do, and maybe this will ostensibly be like a much more powerful Switch. So, I don't know. We will have to see, but either way, I get really excited about this shit. New consoles, it's an exciting time. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know about those launch lineups. I want to know what games I'm going to be playing.
By the way, if they do come out with the fact, like the PS3 is like backwards compatible shit too with the PS5.
Well, you're just going to claim that for the sake of it?
Yes, I will claim that.
I'll let you have it. You can have one every now and then. That's pretty much all I've got this week, Todd. A lot of interesting things in the rumor mill. I'm excited to see what 2020 holds for these new consoles, for new games. Here, you know what I really am the most curious about? What's the PS5 going to look like?
Because I know that I think we've seen images of like the
dev kit.
That's not good. That's not a good.
So, I'm worried. I'm really worried, Todd. Because here's my line of thinking here. So, the dev kit's floating around, right? And of course, you've seen it. It's really stupid looking. It looks like a V, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really getting concerned because if you look at the past dev kits for PlayStation, they're just boxes. Yeah. They're just like, let's just slap all the components in a box. Who cares?
You think they want to do this weird shit with it?
I don't know if they're going to go for the V, but here's my problem. The fact that they've actually thought of a form factor at all has me worried. The fact that they've actually... In other words, the fact that the PS5's dev kit actually has a design to it, that worries me.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the old ones.
The old ones are just like these fuck ugly boxes that they just shit the parts into. There's no design to it at all, you know what I mean?
But no, this one dead ass has like a fucking design. Shit.
But this one actually, like, they have this gross ugly V on it, and I'm just like, that worries me, dude. That really worries me.
It's like, just, give us the desktops. Shit.
I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when, before PS3 came out, and they had that weird looking, they call it the boomerang controller? Oh, Google PS3 boomerang controller, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Shit.
Yeah, that was what the PS3 controller was going to look like.
What the fuck?
You can actually see pictures of it on display at E3. Like, that was going to be it. The only reason that did not happen was because of the media backlash. So, by the way, that's why the PS3 controller ended up being exactly like a PS2 controller. They didn't have enough time to redesign and like order new parts and stuff. So they were just like, okay, I guess the PS3 controller is just going to be the PS2 controller again.
It's not good, dude. I don't remember this.
Yes. So this is why the DualShock 3 looked exactly and felt exactly like the DualShock 2. Because it was the DualShock 2.
That's disgusting.
Yep. A little bit of a video game history with Seth here. Yeah, that was a thing, bro.
I don't know why I don't even remember that.
Well, it was they had this weird marketing strategy with PS3. Like, you kind of forget, like, when you look at the PS3, that fat PS3 that had like the Spider-Man font on it, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man font. It's like such a weird that if you really stop and think about it, the PS3 is such a weird turning point for Sony. And it's actually kind of good that the backlash happened and they didn't go this weird route with the PS3, because the PS3 was already such a weird console. Like, if they had gone that far with it, I don't know that we would have been as accepting of it as we were, which is already to say not a lot. So, yeah, I don't know, man. When you consider weird shit like this, it makes me nervous about the PS5, though. We'll see. I'm looking forward to, whenever they do unveil this thing, I'm looking forward to seeing the form factor. In my heart of hearts, I want to believe that they're just going to keep it sleek and simple, like the PS4 was. I love the PS4's like kind of oblong, rectangular design.
Yeah,
I like that. I have no issue with that.
I don't even need a fucking nice design. Just give me a box.
I just want something that just looks sleek and doesn't take up a lot of shelf space. That's all I want.
I do. That's the thing. I do love the Xbox Series X. Like, that's clean.
The more I see that, the more I like it.
That's clean as fuck. I actually definitely enjoy that.
Yeah. So anyway, we will certainly have more on this as it develops throughout the course of the year, Todd. These consoles are both coming out this holiday, so we'll be hearing more about it soon. But with that said, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it, man.
All right, folks. We'll catch you next week. Welcome to 2020. Another year of fantastic content. We'll catch you next time. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.